When head of the Guyana Police Force's Office of Professional Responsibility, retired Assistant Commissioner Hirel Almakenlal took the witness box on March 27 last, he had conceded that he was unable to eliminate or implicate the joint services in the killing of 8 miners at Lindo Creek. But Major Andy Pompey of the Ghana Defence Force was called to the witness box on Monday. Major Pompey, who was in June of 2008 the commanding officer of the military police, was tasked by the then Chief of Staff of the Ghana Defence Force, Commodore Gary Best, to investigate the alleged involvement of the joint services in the killing of the 8 miners. His team's findings eliminated the joint services in the killing of the 8 miners.
And finally, the findings of the commission, the 4-man commission that was set up, came to the conclusion. Can you read the conclusion?
The conclusion. The investigating team expressed the opinion that the allegations of murder made against ranks of the joint services were pure speculation and accusation. Further, it must be noted that some members of the joint services rendered assistance and advice to Mr. Wong. Also, both of the joint services Special Operation Group teams, arms and ammunition, were properly accounted for.
Major Pompey was unable to ascertain, even though a thorough internal investigation had been done by the GDF, whether the joint services had gone directly to the mining camp where the 8 miners had been killed.
Were any members of the 2 teams you interviewed, the A and B teams of the joint services, any of them gave evidence that they, during the month of June, were at Lindo Creek?
No, sir.
None of them gave evidence?
None of them, sir.
Did any of them say that they were not at Lindo Creek during June?
No one indicated where there is, sir.
The allegation that the joint services had been responsible for the death of the miners was made by dredge owner Leonard Arokiam. And even though the terms of reference for the GDF investigation was a broad one, Leonard Arokiam was not interviewed by the GDF. This puzzled the commission's chairman.
Didn't your team think it necessary to have Mr. Arokiam interviewed by it, especially because Mr. Arokiam, as the team was aware, was making allegations concerning the joint services, which included the GDF and the police?
Sir, the persons interviewed by the team were the persons who the directive which I received were to be interviewed, and those persons were the only persons who came and were interviewed by the team, sir.
The commission heard that all the firearms and ammunition used by the joint services were accounted for. Justice Trotman further grilled Major Pompey on whether he had been given any specific instructions not to interview civilians.
I have to ask you these questions,
yes,
course, sir, because you are head of the team.
Yes, sir.
I'm not pinning anything on you, but I have to find out. You headed the team. But you were not given any specific, well, let me put it more positive. Were you given any specific directions not to interview civilian persons, or including Mr. Arokiam?
No specific instructions was given, sir.
Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.